So we're live at the Kano Collation Center. What a night, what a morning it has been. You know, from some of the debates that came up earlier on with some of the party agents, the returning officer trying to just be sure what the guidelines, the handbook says about, you know, violence reported, both and or, exactly, you know, overvoting and violence, and ensuring that things are done by the book. So all of that has culminated into what you're seeing right now. But for the benefit of our viewers who may just be getting up and joining the show, this is our round-the-clock election coverage, the 2023 verdict state elections. And, you know, we're not leaving anything to chance. We're being your eyes and ears to the ground. So let's just walk you through some of the results that have come in so far. There you see Oyo State, Southwest Nigeria. The result has been called by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in the state. Governor Seyi Makinde, G5 governor, by the way.
Big win there.
Oh, yes, so, and, the margin, especially.
You know, looking at their IGR recently, I had a peep at that, and I saw that they actually, Oyo State's IGR actually increased, you know, when he took office, and we see that they've also, you know, climbed, you know, the ladder when it comes to, you know, moving away reliance from the, you know, FAC allocations and all of that. So he's done pretty well, you know, right there in that state, and I'm guessing maybe that's why they're like, okay, you know what, let's give him another chance at this point.
There you go. So that's how the people voted. And it's interesting, as we said, the people voted one way during the presidential election. If you see, Oyo State was actually red signifying people voting for the APC. But for the governorship election, hey, the people said, well, we are going to go ahead and vote green. So the sophistication of voters yet again comes into play. And this is a case that Mr. Pele was talking about, the result from Akwa Ibom State. Pastor Omoeno winning of the People's Democratic Party with 356,346 votes. So this was what he was referring to when he spoke earlier on. There you go. Right. The result from Akwa Ibom State, South Nigeria. So this is another result that has been called. Ladi, I'm sure this interests you as well.
Yes, because I did remember, you know, some comments, you know, that he made about, you know, happy hour.
Oh, right. That trended a lot.
That trended a lot on social media. I'm sure, you know, some people would actually like the idea, you know, of happy hour, you know.
You sound like you like that idea of happy hour.
Doesn't sound so bad.
So there you go.
Anything to, you know, keep your feet up and have some fun.
There you go. This is Kwara State now. Kwara State's result has also been called. The governor getting re-election. He's been successful with that bid, and with 273,000 votes. What we've seen so far is still the same APC, PDP, you know, dynamic, except for one of the South states, which we saw earlier on, the YPP actually coming second in Akwa Ibom State. But aside that, it's actually been majorly between the APC and the PDP.
So again, see what's happening with Kano too.
Oh yeah, we'll see how Kano votes. We're still waiting for the Collation Center to be ready to give us all of that results. Well, Adi, take a look at what we have here. Another Southwest state.
Southwest state. This one though is very close. You know, very close.
The closest we've seen.
The closest we've seen, and you know, as Mr. Orugudade actually, you know, alluded to, he said that, you know, when you have, you know, close margins like these, you know, you have some kind of that's when, you know, we see the opposition, you know, try to see how they can get, you know, talk about how they, maybe they bring up some issues, you know, about the process. That's when you have close margins. But I also mentioned that, you know, even if it's big margins, no margin is safe at this point.
But you know what they say sometimes, a win is a win. I'm sure he will take it and see what comes up in the coming days. But that's how the people of Ogun State voted so far. Let's head over to Jigawa State now. Jigawa State, the APC taking this one.
Wide.
Very wide, actually. Just almost times two. Yeah, just about 200,000 plus difference between the winner and the runner-up, the APC taking Jigawa State, and the PDP, of course, being the runner-up. And that's why you see how this map is being populated right here behind us. Jigawa is next to Kano.
colors change.
Yeah, that's the expectations, especially for results.
Expecting more colors to change,
Hopefully, because, I mean, this is still preliminary. INEC hasn't called some of the states. What we have is at least 10 states called right now.
Yeah,
so
10 states.
Jigawa is one of them, and this is how Jigawa is going. Umar Namadi of the APC wins that election.
449.
In Jigawa State.
Quite a big one there.
Oh, and there you go, Gombe State. The governor getting re-election. Muhammadu Yahya of the APC, 342,821 votes, as against the PDP's Muhammad Barde. So it shows
quite a close one there too, at this point. And looking at re-elected, governors and newly appointed, governors, there's a lot of work, to be done.
Indeed.
Looking at a lot of things that are happening with the states at this time. We were talking about the resources, earlier that some of these states have. One that came to mind, for me was lithium, because we see that, we have lithium in states like Nasarawa, Cross River. So these states they have a lot of work to do, to get into these resources, see how we can, lead, because
translate all of that into some good IGR.
Because EVs are the next big thing. Everyone's trying to move away from fossil fuels. So electric vehicles, so we need those lithium for the batteries at this point. So we need to explore, all of that.
Talk about that. We see that Kano is now live. Let's head over there.
Everybody that find here is very much more. It comes in it's very good. So it cannot be forced to accept that. Even if everybody accepts, my bank will not accept that. Okay. Because the all come here individually. Just check time out. There's something that I want to change. I have to see the voice that can't over monitoring plus violence. Why have they been put? And also, how do you segregate this will put this because another life and another day. I don't think the way we got here, those states have created violence in violence. There's nothing like we can call an intentional violence, violence is violence.
Allow him to finish. Please. I beg you to allow him to finish. Yeah, he can. Please continue.
He was the one who said that he had the one CD when you come back. So I want to learn the same. I want them to see those ones that have been moved. Violence, some boys are going to some violence. I know that I'm going to be able to, because I record shows that most of this, what do you call it, was under violence. And also, I am not a landed pass. But if you look at the provisions, maybe which one would only have taken that item 2. Item 2 clearly says that animal. And are we animal? So that you can understand fully that is other thing. That's why I said I'm not under the academia individual. So nobody should speak for me. So this number 2, which I bilaterally, willful obstruction and all resistance to deployment, some distribution of materials. Willful obstruction and one by one. If we take the first one, willful obstruction and resistance to deployment and resistance to deployment, some distribution of materials. It means the materials have not left the INEC office to start also. If you take it as American, willful obstruction or resistance to deployment, some distribution of materials, or distribution to non-left. So this one happens, this violence happens at the bottom stage. The final 2 billion after the materials have left the INEC. It was what it was at the point on the guidance place. So I probably suggest that we believe that item C should be very resistance. You are the third officer, you have inspiration, but we know ordinary common sense, ordinary English can be interpreted like this. This obstruction and this resistance to deployment. Deployment is taking it to the conflict place.
Can you conclude, sir? You can get a response. You can't speak forever.
Okay, so I have done this, and I want also, I will also agree with my colleague here that we want to see how this works at my end. But if someone moved another, if what is moved to what do you call it, this we are overloaded that aspect. But this moves are reducing so that it will not fall under the category provision. So I want us to be fair and strategy. I'm not after edits. I'm just after we prove that you have said for yourself. Nobody here said those. National Assembly elected that and build it. And also I have rules here. Nobody I didn't persuade the legal rules. Nobody here has said, but I want it to be followed so that we know how that is relevant.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Just to provide some further explanation, I believe there is nothing I will say that I have not said before. I will only repeat myself, and I'll give for clarity. The word willful wasn't inserted by me. I didn't manufacture the word. I read it from the manual. And once there's an obstruction, I don't know if there's an unwillful obstruction. Willful obstruction or obstruction, for me, mean one and the same. Mean there was an obstruction. For as long as it is created by man, not created by external force, it is willful. No, there are two. I'll read it again. Just conversations before we have it's okay. I would read it for the last slide. I will read it. Willful obstruction, that's one part of the sentence. And or wait now. Implying that can stand on its own because it is or when the combination of the two happens. So if any of them happen, the same rule applies. Sorry?
What's the meaning of deployment?
That is the second leg in the alternative. Suppose there was no willful obstruction, but there is resistance to deployment. Support.
What is the meaning of that?
Let me finish. Well, it's an alternative. It's not standing alone. The sentence is a compound sentence, meaning either of the two or both.
But the key point there is deployment. Where could the deployment take place? That
is in the event that the issue under discussion is deployment. Yeah. What about if it's willful destruction? Can that stand alone? Yeah. No, I've tried to be fair to everyone. It's okay. You are disrupting. Both of you are disrupting this session. Both of you are disrupting this session. Both of you are disrupting this session. Please. And so, my understanding is either of the two, or if both of them happen concurrently, the same rule applies. That credit affected PUs with 0 votes, which means in the first place the votes were never counted and shall not count in the application of the margin of lead. The second is that we should conclude. The expected outcome is that we should conclude what we have started. And on that note, I will go to the other side of the questions you asked. Yes. The other side of the question that you asked was, I went back to polling unit by polling unit and extracted what happened in each of the polling units as reported by the collation officers, and I have the complete list. And like I said, because it is not meant the one that is violence or willful obstruction are not meant to affect the margin of lead. Like I said, I dropped them from consideration as far as margin of lead is concerned. But overvoting is meant to have effect on the margin of lead, and so I have retained them. That's what I said before. And I had a total incidences of 195 incidences across the entire state. And at the end of the day, it involved 138 local governments. It involved 180 arrests. It involved 385 polling units. It also affected 253,160 votes. But for the purposes of segregation, that's the PVC collected, sorry. The PVC collected in affected zone, all of them were 253, 160. But for the purposes of margin of lead, the cancellation over voting, the figure reduced to 84,849. For the cancellation for violence, I had 168,351. And I did this painstakingly, polling unit by polling unit. And that was the reason why I said I should be excused from this environment so that I can concentrate. That's the figure that I have. And on that note, I want to go ahead and present the results for this exercise. That is for the cause of that's the business for which yes. Just mentioned the yes. Okay. So the results for Kano State, gubernatorial results for Kano State, total number of registered voters stood at 5,921,370. Number of accredited voters, 2,032,955. Number of valid votes is 1,977,872. Rejected votes, 27,092. Total votes cast, 2,004,964. Now, I will read out the total votes received by the individual aspirants. The declaration of results. I, Professor Ahmed Doko Ibrahim, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the 2023 Kano State (2023). The election was contested. The candidates received the following votes. 1. Santuraki Alhaji Hamisu of AA Party scored 211 votes. Number 2, Sani Mahmoud of AAC scored 955 votes. Number 3, Khalid Ibrahim Idris of ADC scored 12,832 votes. Number 4, Ibrahim Sha'aban Sharada of ADP scored 9,402 votes. Number 5, Gauna Nasiru Yusuf of APC scored 819,705 votes. Then number 6 is Sulen Kuka Umar Yakase of APGA scored 1,360 votes. Number 7, Sani Ibrahim of APM scored 4,955 votes. Number 8, Muhammad Ibrahim of APP scored 430 votes. Number 9, Yakubu Ferreira Ahmad of BP scored 533 votes. Number 10, Bashir Ishaq Bashir of LP scored 5,409 votes. Number 11, Yusuf Abba Kabir of NNPP scored 1,019,602 votes. Number 12, Mahmoud Aishatu of NRM scored 862 votes. Number 13, Muhammad Sani Abacha of PDP scored 15,957 votes. Number 14, Yakase Salihu Tanko of PRP scored 2,183 votes. Number 15, Muhammad G. Bala of SDP scored 759 votes. Number 16, Muhammad East IPP scored 9,835 votes. Number 17, Nuhu Isa of ZLP scored 1,882 votes. That Yusuf Abba Kabir of NNPP, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected. This day, 20th March 2023. Thank you very much.
Oh, there you have it. It is official. Breaking news from the Kano Collation Center. The candidate of the NNPP in the just concluded Kano governorship election with 1,019,602 votes has been returned winner of that election. So there you go.
After all the drama we saw.
Indeed, quite a dramatic, process leading up to this one. So as you can see, Kano is blue, of course, representing the NNPP. Quite a journey, really. This actually happened all through the night. It was a vigil. We had to keep vigil with that one. And just to follow up that breaking news, we also have news from Kano State saying that the Kano State government has imposed dawn to dusk curfew with a view to avoid the breakdown of law and order following tensions generated from a coalition of results of the governorship and state assembly elections. So that's what's playing out in Kano State right now. It is official from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party has been returned winner of that election, as is reflected.